And before that, it is all everybody's guess. Some people say it was a Big Bang theory that brought us to this time. So that there is a process of evolution. There is time, a factor, and the various interactions of energy. Now, the animal inside us, this is answering your question, has got the characteristics of the man-eater also, right? On the lighter way. And once you taste success in something, you don't need to motivate yourself anymore. But the challenge happens to be, let me remove this.
You're good. Yeah, yeah.
So once we get that success, we don't need the motivation. But then how do you motivate? That's the basic question. Desire, the core characteristics of ours is survival. And here I am reminded of a Dr. friend's story in life. Our friend, Velayudham, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's the right name. Correct.
So, this doctor owns a chain of hospitals. Right? Actually, his story motivated me. So, we used to ask him, son, will you go to the hospitals? You are a doctor yourself, but do you visit a hospital? He says, yes, of course. See, the poor doctor has spent so much money in studying. So he has to survive. So I go to him. And he will give me a long list of medicines. So the pharmaceutical industry needs to survive. So I go and purchase medicines. Sir, but do you take the medicines? He says, no, I don't, because I have to survive. So the motivation lies in wanting to be as natural as possible without any external influence or external intervention. However, we need to remember, does it mean that a doctor's profession is useless? No, it is not. That too is required. So then, what is the trigger? That trigger comes from the fact that 80% of the diseases, or let's break that word, it is dis-ease, right? It is not anything beyond that. That is what we do to ourselves without understanding that they don't require any medicine. Right? Having said that, it's so easy to say you don't need a medicine, but then what do you do? Right? That is where we need to understand that we are energy beings. We have a body, we have a mind. And integrating these three is very, very important for us to ensure that none of these interfere with our lifestyle. So if I really take, it's so easy for me to say whatever I have said, but then let's try to give it some meaning. Okay, so let's start. So here I have gathered some foundation components which when I was told by my doctor, he said, my friend, I am so happy. Today I have taken your dose. Right? He started with, because of my lifestyle, because of my ignorance, because of my all the more important negligence of understanding the importance of this body and succumbing to the challenges of diabetes. When I say challenges, please read it as mismanagement. Right? So what, I have got diabetes, I will take 2 more sweets and then I will take some more tablets. And that was the approach. Now tablets became insulin, it became 100 units of insulin a day. Right? And I was still not willing to change. And one thing, I don't know whether I have written it in those notes, I used to smoke 100 cigarettes a day. Today I also can join you and laugh. But those days, I was under that level of stress. Right? The work tensions. It's very easy to say work tensions. But then who let the tension influence me? I did. So the total cigarettes in a span of 16 hours, because I would not smoke at home, I would not smoke when there are children around. These were 2 principles. Why is this important? If we really analyze, if we want to get out of something, we should also know, we should also be aware of what are our strengths even when we are under the influence of a weakness. So if I really take 16 hours and multiply it to get the number of minutes, it is 960 minutes. 960 minutes, let's, for the sake of calculation, make it 1000 minutes. 100 seconds. So 960 minutes, if I convert it and divide it by 100, every 9.6 minutes, I needed a cigarette a day. I mean, do you really call that life? I mean, it was a very easy excuse. यार एक सिगरेट दम मार के आते हैं, नहीं तो दिमाग काम नहीं करता है. But that was the thought process. And it continued and it became so bad, because what happens when you smoke so much, not so much, when you smoke itself, the capillary tubes which carry the blood, right? You call them blood vessels. Actually, those are what we see, we call them veins, etc. These are not veins, these are blood vessels. So that becomes thinner and thinner. Right? That causes a problem. Added to that, I am under stress. My diabetes, the density of the blood increases. That doesn't reach the last mile in the body. As a result, gangrene sets. Right? It started with a shoe bite, which took the entire toe. This was the left leg. Right leg, I have lost 4 toes. So in all 5 toes. At that stage, my doctor called me and said, is Dr. Varun Raj. So if you continue this way, I'm going to be the happiest. Why? He says, I've taken up to your toes. I'm done. Right? Don't think that's the end, that's just the beginning. The next comes your ankle. But in between that, something else happened. The foot decayed. This foot was like a pumpkin. It had swollen. And I went to the doctor. The first thing he said, I have to do a surgery. I'm not sure whether I will give you your leg, I will give you your foot, or you will give me your life. This is what the doctor said. Why? Because the bottom portion of the foot had decayed. It had decayed, so he had to cut open. From here till here, there is a scar. He had cut open and he had scrapped that dead flesh. Right? Today, even I am able to laugh at it. But doctor said, my friend, you have to come for dressing every day. I said, no, I don't want to come. Okay, then I will teach you how to do the dressing. Right? It was like a pocket, the foot. I used to soak the sterilized pads in a dish of betadine, iodine, and fill that. This upper layer has got another layer inside. In between is where the flesh is. So fill that area. What do? I fill it. After that, what? Is that going to be my life? That is when I said, I have to heal this. Where there is a will, there is a way, they say. Right? Initially, we are going to encounter lethargy. We are going to encounter lethargy because of the word HABIT. The word HABIT is the culprit in all our cases. Right? But it is only a word, don't forget. It can be used by you to your advantage or to your disadvantage. And I decided to use, till then I had used it for my disadvantage. And the same thing can be converted to our advantage. What was the process? Here I will deviate into the first picture, which is green in color. No, click on that lens here. Right? See, this is a simple theory in a book. Dr. Joe Dispenza has written a book. If you have not heard about him, he is somebody who is involved in an accident. It's not fatal, because if it is fatal, then he wouldn't be there. So it was near fatal. I'll use that word, a little bit of modification. And he is crushed by an SUV to such an extent that 6 of his vertebrae are not broken, they're gone. Okay. Now, what did he do? Doctors had told him that we will have to perform a surgery, and that surgery will not guarantee that you will even sit up. 6 vertebrae, so they will place a rod on the spinal cord, which could help him heal or not. Being a chiropractor himself, he said, I can't become a vegetable. He's 27 years old. So he decides against all medical advice, saying, let me become spiritual. They say that if you are born with a purpose in life. And if that purpose and if that statement in the Bible is true, I am going to let the greater good or the greater mind, in other words, the universe. We also use the word God for universe. That can help you come out of your problem. I have a purpose, and if I am cured, I am going to dedicate my life to spreading that spirituality which will empower one to heal himself. And as they say in our meditation, if he can do it, I can do it, was the confidence. And he had explained in the book which motivates us to become supernatural. The title of the book itself is Becoming Supernatural. What he says is this: if I give you an atom of sodium and an atom of chloride, no brainer, what does it become? Sodium chloride. But it is salt. But then there is a reason why I am calling it sodium chloride. Why sodium chloride? An atom of sodium has its own field of energy. An atom of chloride has its own field of energy, and together they become a molecule. When they become a molecule, they create another product or a byproduct which has got its own frequency. When I say frequency, it is very important to note that the frequency is vibration with a score, with an energy, with some additional information. Right? Now, this is lab part. But suppose it is practical. You have two atoms coming together with their own respective fields of energy, producing a third. If it is multiple atoms coming together, it is multiple molecules coming together. Now, when multiple molecules come together because of the energy and the reaction within the atmosphere, etc., becomes the transformation to the next stage. And that can be called a chemical. But the reaction and the progression doesn't stop there. What is the next? It becomes a cell. The cell has its own field, it has its own memory, and it has its own constituent of the atoms, modified though, that when a large group of these cells come together, it becomes a tissue. Okay. The next stage of progression, from a number of tissues coming together, it becomes an organ, as you can see. Right? A number of organs together becomes a system. Let's try to apply it on ourselves. What system? Cardiovascular, your respiratory, your digestive, your excretory, your circulatory, right? Yeah, respiratory, right? So all these systems, when a group of systems come together, it defines a human body. Right? So far, clear? Right? Now, Let's look into the word energy. The combination of energy. Let's look at our life. Suppose you are a construction specialist. What do you need to do that? What is your blueprint that you require? Right? That is also a form of energy, which you will transform from the number of buckets of sand or number of bags of sand with cement, with water, and so on and so forth. And wherever necessary, some chemicals for waterproofing also, you have converted it to a building blueprint. Each of this energy, the gray colored items that you see, the shaded, that is that kind of information, a blueprint. Right? And the basic constituents are no different from the constituents that we have inside. What are they? Fire, air, water, earth crust. Right? And when they say that in Telugu they use the word, I think why this one? It is Panchabhut. Right? So Hindi, Telugu, both are covered. Okay. Now, the fifth one, what is that? You say ether, you say akash. I would say that in addition to ether, akash, etc., it is a blueprint. It is a pattern. It is a pattern. The pattern that is going to influence the 5 or the 4 other ingredients to form a structure. Okay? So, it's like your chapati. I give you wheat and say make a chapati. Where is that pattern? Where is that pattern? I have given you raw wheat. What will you do? It has to be converted to a chapati. That fellow black fellow inside is the chapati. Right? So how do you go about it? This is very important. Huh? If this is confusing, chapati is easy for all of us. How does it get converted to a chapati?
Find recipe and start.
Okay. Make a powder. Find a recipe. Yeah. Because some people like chapati with salt and some like without. So the recipe is equally important. Correct? That is part of the information that you are. But where is all that information?
Intention starts with brain.
It is in your mind. Right? If you have not seen it, it is in YouTube. Otherwise, it is in the mind. Right? So that gives us the courage, saying that I have understood how to make a chapati. Because later on it all depends. If he makes, I make, or you make, it will be the world map. If somebody else who is better than us makes it, it will be like a chapati. Right? And I also recently saw a Telugu movie. The husband and wife have a fight. So husband has to make the chapati. He makes it. The wife takes a look at it and says, "Is this chapati?" It goes and hits a jar. And the next picture is the jar is in perfect 2 pieces. Right? Even that is possible. Right? So everything is in the way you are using that information, understanding that information, interpreting that information, and acting accordingly. So, let's come back to the problem. This process is digested by all. Okay? So now, this fellow, I have to go through this. And what is my path? Close my eyes. And we did it right at the beginning. Fingers into fingers. No other thought. Because for me to convert that, I also need energy, right? I can't sit and say, he has cut, he told me this will go away. So I keep waiting for it, when will it go away? But that's not the intent. So there is a desire to overcome the challenge, answering your question, right? So that burning desire, which has become an obsession, is going to create its own composition of information, which will be one part of the energy. The second part of the energy. If I do it, it will happen. Mr. Joe Dispenza could do it, so why can't I? Second portion of the energy. I may call it faith. But that is also energy. Right? The third thing, how? Oh, there is a process. That process cannot afford a mistake in your thinking. So, till I have perfected, I bring in the word HABIT of my thought. I am creating the flow. Right? After the flow has come in, then I sit and repeat that process. No error, repeat that process. What am I doing? Without my conscious effort, because it has become a habit, right? I was able to dictate the energy around me, energy inside me, through a focused effort into filling the gaps that are there. And to satisfy myself that it was happening, I even started fooling myself, because he says the mind knows what it is, but it cannot differentiate. So I started tying the wound with extra gauze so that swelling comes, right? So I started feeling, that is healing. I started feeling that it was healing, right? And after 15 days, when I went to the doctor for a checkup, he said, you have got very strong healing capabilities. Wow. Right? First taste of, I said, we are all that animal, no? First taste of success. The moment we are able to create that, after that, even in our sleep, we are generating. That's the extent to which we can exploit MEDITATION, which is meditation. If you know the process, while you are meditating, in the background, it is a habit that is running through. This is the psychological aspect of healing yourself. Okay? Now, you will come back and say, how is it possible? I am thinking, right? Let's look at the second part. Is everyone breathing? Right? The structure of our body before breathing. Go to the next picture. Yes. Right? What are we? If I take the from a spiritual perspective, what are we? We are a conglomeration of different structures of energy. Now, this is where the chapati from the raw wheat, when you have powdered it, how do you make it? You are going to use a sieve, right? What are you doing when you are using the sieve? You are filtering. So you are bringing out or separating the dense item from the subtle item. We are a dense body which is deep inside, surrounded by different levels of subtleness, but the raw material is the same, which is again fire, air, water, earth crust. Why I am saying earth crust? Because they are all pieces, right? And pattern. Right? We form our pattern, our particles are all the same, but only thing is the density varies and they need a pattern. They have an inherent pattern, but where is the rest of the pattern coming from? I didn't want to go into the details of this. I can make a killing time by going into the depth. So we have a physical body along with its etheric double. Okay, that's the physical body. Then you have what you call a desire body. I mentioned the word desire earlier, right? That is going to influence your thought process. And the experience of the thought process happens on what we think is this physical body. I will tell you why I am saying we think is the physical body. That has got a cause and its effect. And beyond that, we have a body that we can't see, but we can experience, which we call a spiritual body. Another interesting observation, the physical body is under the control of the astral body, is under the control of the manomaya or the mental body, is under the control of the intellectual body, which is the causal body, is under the control of the spiritual body. They are not separate, right? So all of them can be influenced, and the thought that starts at the spiritual level, because that is only the energy, thought, not an idea. Remember, that thought, a number of thoughts, both positive and negative, will then bring it into the next layer. As the density increases, it goes beyond the gravitational force of that atmosphere, and it comes into the lower atmosphere and lower atmosphere and lower atmosphere, gathering more and more density and manifesting as physical. Okay? Let's understand this the other way around. Suppose I give you an acorn seed. What will that become? An oak tree. Okay? How is it becoming an oak tree? Why not a guava or a mango tree? The pattern that is embedded inside the seed. Right? Seed is equal to a thought. Please remember that seed is equal to a thought. If you want to apply it and come out of it successfully, that seed can be made to be a vector. How does it become a vector? From a scalar, not only quantity, but it also needs a direction. Where are you giving the direction from? Again, energy. Your thought coming up to the manomaya. The manomaya is your feeling, right? Both are required. The thought cannot be positive and the feeling negative. Both have to go hand in hand if you want a result, right? So that is required. And then that when it is gone beyond a particular level of density or a weight, that becomes manifesting, or that will get manifested as a physical entity. Okay, keep this in the mind. Right? Now, the last, you go to the next picture. Now, you can even click there. On the picture also inside the box. Yes. No, you just click on that X inside the 5 koshas. No, there also, here also, you have both the places. Yeah, you can. Okay. So, again, yeah. So this is like a rocket. Our body is like a rocket. The rocket has the fins, the engine, the ballast, the fuselage, and then the tip of the nose. Very similarly, right? This one falls off when it is not required. Likewise, we have got all similar components which are one above the other. So if you start at the physical layer, the spiritual layer, come downward, increase the density, that integrated one becomes the sub-integrated components or the differentiated components. Clear? Right? Go to the last picture. Now, if you try to take a picture as a particle, right? What we are breathing in, what we are breathing out are this multi-layered body, which is, as the density varies, it has come up to the cell level, right, in that process. When it has come to the cell level, we are a community of 50 to 100 trillion cells. We are a community, right? And each cell has got a 3 days life, which means the diseased cell can get replaced with a good cell with your right kind of thought process. Having all this understanding and practicing that HABIT, that practicing that gave me my foot back. Unfortunately, I couldn't go beyond this level, otherwise maybe I would have got back my torso, right? That's beyond, it's gone, it's removed. No point in crying over it, right? So that is what helped me get out of the problem. Got it, everyone? If I can do it, if Joe Dispenza could do it, I could do it. I have done it. So if you have any problems, you can do it too. All you need is wisdom. All you need is that desire, and that desire, I will give you a nice sentence. Do you want to be controlled or do you want to control? That is the definition of the word desire. You want to control everything, you have the opportunity. You love to be controlled, you have an opportunity too, right? Take your call. Let's go to the next slide. You can directly press the next right here. So now let us see how these things in our life start as thoughts. Yeah. Let's go to thoughts. Okay. Now, every thinking that we encounter, thought, not idea. What is the difference between a thought and an idea? Repeated same thought is not an idea. Because
Idea is vague.
pardon?
Idea is vague.
No. A
Idea is
number of thoughts become an idea. If two thoughts are not together, what is the net result? Zero. Confusion. Right? So thoughts, when these thoughts, where are the thoughts originating? Mind. It is at the topmost layer. Right? That topmost layer, you are given it a thought. Where is the thought? Can you go back to the previous? No, everyone recall that aura around you, that diagram, right? Thoughts are also part of those particles, those particles. Some people call that extent of this one your karma. Some of that is influenced, the shape of that is influenced by your karma, right? That is also those particles and the image, right? So that and what is inside your thought process also, your wisdom, these two are sitting as energy components. Okay? When you are breathing in, your breath is actually in 5 components. Prana, the life force, Apana, Udana, Samana, Vyayana. Vyayana. Vyayana is something that circulates across the body. The organs in your body from the diagram are concentration of fire, air, water in different compositions. They are entering along with your breath as particles. They are influenced by their own pattern plus the pattern that you are generating with your level of thinking, feeling, right? Now, the breath becomes the vehicle. And where all does this breath go? Everywhere in the body, right? Now, every part or organ inside the body is nothing but a small community of cells doing a particular function, right? So, now, these particles that you are going, they are all community of cells. Cells' life is? So, what happens? So, they need replenishment. These particles, along with the pattern, go and rhythmically move around because breathing is rhythmic. They come up to the energy center in that particular area. All these are spread into forming the organs. Pattern from inherent. Cellular memory is also part of the pattern and your thought. If your thought is strong enough, stronger than those, that means the desire in them, right? It will take that shape. Otherwise, he will get influenced. That is your emotion and the outcome. Correct? And this is another influencer because based on how you are feeling, the internal environment gets readjusted. Either you are a winner or you are a loser, right? You are giving rise to those opportunities. And then that becomes an outcome. Okay. Now, interestingly, as it has gone up to the, let us say, the throat chakra, it has come down. Throat chakra is the communication that is happening to the particles, that energy, right? And then it has come up to the heart. There is one more fellow inside the heart who is also spreading himself across the body. What is that? Blood. Is the pumping of the blood also cyclic?
Yes.
Right? There is a rhythm. Correct? And that and the breath are also interconnected. Right? Just keep this in the mind. There is a rhythmic movement. For a moment, let us go out of this explanation and consider woodpecker. Right? All of you have seen a woodpecker in action. either in a movie or maybe in the zoo or, right? What does the woodpecker do? It keeps on repeatedly hitting at a particular point, repeatedly rhythmic. Okay? It is hitting at a particular point on the trunk of a tree till there is a breakdown of the resistance offered by the tree. Replace the tree with your cells, the wall of cells, which has become a tissue, an organ, a system, and a body. Right? That cell, you are breathing in, breathing out, and circulating blood, loaded with your emotion, loaded with the pattern, desire and feeling. Desire and feeling is the woodpecker. This trunk of the tree is the individual cells. What is happening? Right? You can make that gentle, that rhythm can be gentle, or that rhythm can be harsh. The pattern can be gentle, or the pattern can be harsh. Both are with you. Right? Now, for a moment, what happens to the rhythm? What happens to the pattern when you are meditating?
It aligns to.
It is softer because your frequency of breath when you meditate comes down.
That's why you feel like you're breathing.
Yes. And these particles are still loaded. They are not corrupted by a new pattern that we are capable of giving. Okay. Now it is a smooth sail. It is not a third landing, but a very smooth, soft landing that helps the healing process, the building process, right? So that is what happens. Next picture. Now, where all does this travel? What can you influence? There are three sources that you can generate the influence. Yes. We are again, from another perspective, we are, each of that cell can be considered to be an energy, a consciousness, and a wisdom capsule. ECW, spirit, energy, wisdom, mind, and the body. Right? They are the energy, consciousness, and wisdom. Those combinations are those tiny cells that we can control. Okay? Go to the next picture. Our human body can be considered to be a causal body, which is nothing but conditioning. As I am growing, I am deeply hurt. That is one influence. Everything I do, I am a failure. That is also an influence, but on the negatives, right? So how do you convert the negative to positive? In spirituality, we say everything happens for a reason. So what did you learn? What did you learn becomes the takeaway. You learn, you become strong. Right? So you accept, you surrender when you cannot influence. That is only 20% of the cases. 80% of the cases you can always win. right? Then the subtle body, the thoughts is again one part of the influencer. Then you have the physical body, which is nothing but the clinical disease, if you want to give in. If you want to replace the diseased part also, I am a standing example. You can do it, right? And what are our realities? Consciousness, the mind, and the body. These are the things that come as an outcome of our learning, our wisdom, and supported by, how are we doing this? Meditation, right? Now just look at the combination of thoughts that we are capable of creating. Just a look at our mind thoughts. There are two components, the conscious and the subconscious. Mr. Bob Proctor, how many of you have heard the name? Bob Proctor. He was one of the greatest influencer of motivation. And he is one man. For 65 years, he has been reading only one book. Right? Think and Grow Rich. And he even goes to the extent. For 65 years, I have been reading this book. And he will show that book. There will be a rubber band. Right? He says this rubber band holds this book together. I mean, that many times he has opened and closed it. He says, poor fellow, this page has come out. So, to that extent, he has made that a habit. To that extent, he knows every word in that page, but still he will open. Right? He doesn't want an iota of error coming in. Right? Now, what is that? Pattern, which is your thought. Pattern, that is your habit. You have the body functions, the cellular memory, the creativity, the emotions, the protection, right? What is your long-term memory? It is the subconscious. Interestingly, the same Mr. Bob Proctor, he removes the boundaries from the subconscious. He says you have placed an idea, very good. He draws a circle, the upper half is your conscious mind. And then he draws a line. He says that idea has been accepted, approved. So it has come to the subconscious mind. That is your permanent mind. Now what you are doing is, he says, let me do one thing. And he erases the boundary of the bottom portion. He says, now what have you done? You have created a universal mind. Right? That is the universe and its mind for you. So universe will listen and give you what you ask. But please do it in a language that is very clear, no confusion. So let's go to the next part. On the other side, on the red side, you have got all the movements, the planning, etc., etc. That is under your conscious. But the moment the conscious mind has converted it to a habit, approved it, and given it, it is the emotion that will drive the action, the results. So mind you, beware. Yeah. So at no time are you going to give an opportunity for that to become counterproductive. I want to buy a house. I want the house to look like this, like this, like this. You are very clear. Then you say, can I buy it? Can I afford it? Finish. That request has already become different. So anything that you want, including health, be very clear. Only one-way communication and clear communication. Once you have communicated, you start feeling you have got it, you are living it, and so on and so forth. This will come in one more session when I will do about manifestation. but this is health, right? Okay, then let's go. Now, what are the connections that the body and brain have, which is the information that is available for you to exploit and implement? Let's come there. See, these are the physical components, but what you do with them is thinking logically, thinking beyond logic. Both are there. Tell me one thing, does emotion have logic? Emotion can never have logic. There is no logic. There is only direction. Right? There is no logic in that. Because it is not sequential, it is not following a process, etc. So that universe interaction is emotional. You try to tell the universe, I want this first, then this, then this. You are trying to order Mother Universe. You can go to the mother and say, give me food. Mother will give. But you give me food like this, like this, like this, gali milega. Jarur gali milega. That is what we will get. So let's go further. Right? These are all the components of the physical body, but then they respond to those connections that are happening. It could be hormonal, it could be emotional, it could be all these. Right? Go further. Next diagram. Okay. Now, we have looked at how many influences the emotion when you issue can have, the emotional pain body. Right? So all these are the various hues of the influence that you are doing between your moral, intellectual, emotional, psychic, pranic, and physical body. The influences that you are doing, it could be pain, you may undergo this on your path to recovery. Don't give any weightage anywhere. Don't deviate. If the pain is there, for me, pain, it is healing. Burning, it is healing. Right? There was only one outcome that I was giving throughout the journey. Okay? It is diabetes, it is under control. The meter is wrong. This was the way I was convincing myself during those fluctuating days. Right? Because every time my wife said, oh, this leg, I think the doctor has to perform surgery, that wound will become bigger. Again, I have to go back and say, next 2 months I am not coming down, send me food to the second floor. No influence. Lock. Right? It is healing, it is healing, it is healing. This is what the environment I was creating, and I was also convincing myself.
Convincing that it is healed.
Yes. Because there's only positivity, there's no scope for negativity. Because negativity, I know. I will have to then look for a stump. Mr. Jaipur will come in. Right? Okay. Last one is the impact. This is very important. That is why I stored it for the last. Right? Every single emotion impacts one organ. One organ or the other. How are these organs formed? Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural explains it all. Right? So, when you are angry, when you are frustrated, or when you are jealous and envy is near about the same, right? What are you impacting? Any doctors here who can help me? What is that organ? Liver. Right? Everything that goes in has to go through the liver. You don't have an option. In fact, there is a story about liver. Not Hindustan liver. No? This is liver. Yeah, no, not that. This is our liver. This liver, it seems, has such power that if an entrepreneur wants to set up a factory to replicate the capability of the liver, the minimum space he requires for all of that machinery is 500 acres. That means it's probably larger than 1 or 2 ranches that you can think about, right? That's for the machinery, I believe. When we have so much power and we understand that there is a simple way of getting out of it, which is written somewhere here on this paper, right? I see that, anapanasati something, right? Powered by the right kind of thought, why should we give in to something else? Just let's think about it. Right? So, if it is envy, anger, etc., it affects your liver, the one who filters. So he will get angry and he will say, I'm not filtering, do what you want. Right? Then that will become, after that it will become fear. Then kidneys will go away. Right? Or it can be the functioning of the ear. They are directly related. Your vertigo and all those are also related. Right? Let's come to we are sad, we are depressed. Right? What are you harming? You are sad. That blood that is getting circulated in a rhythmic manner, along with the breath that is going, because when this fellow starts misbehaving, the quality of the breath also is not good. Right? So, sadness and depression impacts your lungs, impacts your large intestines. So IBS, etc., the irritable bowel syndrome, etc., kick in. Let's go one more step. I am worried, I am anxious, I don't trust. They are all interrelated based on our experience, maybe during childhood. Right? So then you are impacting your pancreas, prescription for diabetes, right? And what is that below there? No? No, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so this picture came in when I was preparing the chart. I was searching for something and this picture came up. So that is how when the universe also supports us when we are doing something. No, that is small. Small.
Stomach and pancreas.
Yes,
Stomach and pancreas, you are right. Yeah. Now let's go to I have hate. I have cruelty. I have impatience. I am affecting my small intestines. I am impacting my heart. Right? Not only that, with the grudge continuous woodpecker story, I am also subscribing to activating the cancer cells in the body. So, where are we creating the diseases? Or who is creating the diseases? Not somebody outside you. Somebody inside you. Right? To streamline all these, right? You have it in your power. You don't want to do it, up to you. But that's what we prescribe.
Meditation instead of medication.
Yeah. C or T, decide. Right? So this brings me to the end of today's talk.
That small thing is not gallbladder.
Okay, it is parts and parcel of that yellow. No, that yellow one is gallbladder.
So the yellow one is pancreas, not one is stomach, the green one is gallbladder.
Is there something
Brown one
green?
is liver.
Yeah, you see, I am aging.
But
Yeah.
that part is already covered under anger and frustration.
Which one?
That part is already covered
Yes,
under anger
yes,
and
yes,
frustration.
yes. So, questions please.
So,
Is the topic clear to everyone?
Yes.
Right? So why should we do meditation?
to be sometimes.
Simple. Soft language.
So, most of the people have questions on thyroid. So,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
so what?
I also have thyroid.
Thyroid is not there in the.
Huh? So maybe it is hidden, it may be part of something else, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, ask the question, otherwise I can't answer.
So one of the
No
questions
question, no
thyroid.
answer.
Heal the thyroid dysfunction.
What is the source of thyroid?
Talking about.
Keep that in there, keep that there, it's required.
Suppressing communication. Not everything.
Right? So, when you are meditating, first of all, any disease is caused or any disturbance to the body is caused because of three reasons. Let us understand what is our purpose in life.
To be happy.
Okay, and
Learning.
Experience the life.
learning,
Enjoy.
enjoy, and experience. Your learning and experience go together. Okay. And then be happy. At whose cost? At whose cost do you want to be happy? Without harming or disturbing the universe. That is why they say be happy, lead a life the righteous way. Yes. Right? Because the universe doesn't belong only to us. There is the mineral kingdom, there is the plant kingdom, there is the animal kingdom, there is us, right? And all of us are interconnected. You have no right to disturb it, right? There is the universe, there is a righteous. Now, when any of these is scuttled, limited, that means you are not able to express, you are not able to communicate, then the throat area gets affected. On the throat, a small butterfly shaped organ is your thyroid. Right? This thyroid is also part of your creativity. When you are not creative, I'm giving you the spiritual, not thyroxine medicine. So, communication, creativity, expression, these should be undertaken, these should be exploited for the health of the thyroid. You may have some talent. For example, my thyroid, me and my daughter, we were having a discussion. For everything, she was taking a tablet. So I went on criticizing her, trying to motivate her the wrong way. She got motivated. She said, Dad, that's rude. I said, so what do you want? No, I want you to test your thyroid. I said, I don't have thyroid. I tested. I don't know what happened. The score came to 11. See, I told you you have thyroid. Right? Immediately. The meditation, the right school of thought. And I love teaching. Right? I am reasonably good at the way you interpret a book and communicate that. So I said, maybe this is the talent. I have not been doing it. Let me do book clubs. After exactly 3 months, then again I went to my daughter and said, let's do a second round of test, 3 months. My score was 4. Her score remained where it was because she was on thyroid. I tried to convince her. She said, Dad, you are like that, you leave it. You are an old man. So I am out of medicine. She is still with thyroxine, some 50 mg, 75 mg. And then the doctor got worried in between, and then he said, what? 67.5 mg. So now half of one tablet and full of another tablet. So to heal, you should be creative, find out what you are suppressing. What is it that you are deviating from being happy? So disease has got three major causes. Separation from three entities. One is separation from oneness. Okay. You may say separation from the words of God, Bhagavad Gita or Bible. They say believe word, right? The trust in the universe. One. Second, separation from yourself. Very interesting statement. We will try to decipher what it means. And separation from others. Does it match into your expression, communication? Right? For thyroid, this separation from others, because you are living under guilt, you are living under fear, you are living under a cloud, thinking that the other person is superior to you. He is not. You are as unique as he happens to. So, live courageously, live in joy, communicate, express. Anything that you suppress will pull you down to living under one of those conditions which are not desired. Right? So, if you have got any of these, you need to move from the state that you are in to the state that you are desired or expected to be in. You are supposed to be righteous. You are supposed to be courageous. All these deviations manifest in those corresponding issues. If I don't have thyroid here, thanks for pointing it out. By next time that will be.
You can add cholesterol also.
Cholesterol is not an issue. That is, you thank companies, some of the companies. One of them, I think, starts with P. I didn't say it. Right? Those companies contracted some doctors. It published reports. See, there was a time when diabetes also, 140 was normal. Fasting, 140 was normal. Their sales was not satisfactory, so it became 100.
Dr. Hegde also says cholesterol is not a problem.
You know what Dr. Hegde says? Don't go for heart surgery also. I am a big fan of, and Dr. Hegde also says, you have diabetes? As a doctor, I will prescribe wheat. You know why? Because of the gluten there. Huh? That gluten will ensure that your sugar levels will never come down. And I am also happy, you are also happy. This is his exact word. I have got all his books, I read them extensively. So, everything, see, if we are happy at every stage, there is no guilt. Right? Now, let us say that I am a corrupt guy. I want to buy a property somewhere. Okay. I will go to Srikant and say, please sell your property. He will say, no, I am not going to sell. Then I will start using force to acquire. He is under stress, but I am under greater stress because I have wrongfully acquired. Very soon my kidneys will get affected. There is no doubt, because internally the body knows that I have done something wrong. I will use my ego and say, no, nothing is wrong. But I will end up doing it and I will end up succumbing to that situation because internal process, I am changing the chemistry, right? It is the chemical reason and the suppression, that is what happens. And then that impact, this is the easiest, right? There is an imbalance there. If I have to balance it, my communication has to improve. If I am communicating too much, then my right kind of what to communicate, what not to communicate, I should know. So all these things play a role. We are not conscious of the impact. That's the point. Meditate, change your lifestyle, righteousness, being happy, expressing, then this gland is taken. Next question.
One who is meditating and one who is trying to consciously maintain the inner balance at all times is not able to get rid of some chronic illnesses. What does it indicate?
He is not doing it properly. As simple as that.
Is there any timeline?
Or it can be something that he wants to learn from it in this life. Because 20% fall into that category of all diseases. I mean, you have voluntarily, you have got to reset those energies. If you are not resetting those energies, it is part of what I don't like to say, but it is part of your plan.
Part of?
Your life plan.
So,
there, you learn to surrender and learn the lesson. The moment the lesson is learned, the impact is gone. That is the spiritual answer. There are other answers. You go for surgery, you do this, you do that, and all. That is not curative, it is palliative. You are prolonging. See, mic was of no need. Yeah. Yeah. Any other question?
That even if with meditation, the negative emotions are not coming down, or maybe not coming down with that speed, or the timeline is very high.
It will be.
What one should do?
Nothing, you have to continue. Just practice over a period of time. It will come down.
I mean, no expectation, but still, once you are doing it, right? Because otherwise, at times you start questioning yourself.
So basically, she's we'll go back to what you said initially, sir. So until you really taste the success.
You keep on repeating. See, you cannot shy away from it. That's the point I'm trying to. Oh, I did meditation for the last 6 months, nothing has happened. You are not doing meditation, you are actually doing expectation. You are not focusing on that energy to help you heal. You are doing it the wrong way. You are sending out signals saying, whatever I do, I am not healing.
They'll come after 6 months of trying, right?
40 days, you should start seeing improvement. If you are not seeing it, somewhere something is missing. 40 days, you should be getting a feedback. That is why they call it a mandala.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you say meditation could be a conscious programming, but in addition to the meditation, you can also reprogram your subconscious memory, the long-term program.
But then what is, how?
Because see the law, in addition to the meditation.
No, in addition to meditation also, how will you subconsciously, how will you program the subconscious?
So for example, one of those mechanisms is like there are so many signals that you continue to give while you're sleeping, because your subconscious mind is always active.
And subconscious mind can go to sleep. When you go to sleep, if you are really sleeping, what happens to your brain waves?
Oh, really sleeping is only 45 minutes, sir.
Hmm?
But if you take, let's say, 8 hours of a sleep, maybe 45 minutes a day.
No, not necessary. That is all. See, that is the problem.
Yeah.
Actually, it is supposed to be, what are your states of existence? Hmm. Hmm.
Turiya state.
Right? Okay. Turiya is the masterpiece.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yes.
It is the mother of all.
Okay.
What are your brain waves in Turiya?
Dead.
Because you are not moving out of your beta state. You are constantly looking for that outcome, which you are triggering. You are not going into real sleep at all.
Beta is okay, sir. Beta is a very.
Beta is not okay.
No, no.
Beta is your conscious state. Where is your rest?
No, beta is typically, you would say, awake state, but in the REM and even the core sleep.
What is
you will
REM?
be in the
Who has
beta.
introduced REM? In brain waves, there is nothing like REM.
Okay, let's
See, you have got beta, alpha, gamma.
Correct, sir. So in that case, I would say the REM, I would consider it as alpha, but beta is okay, forget about it, because that's not sleep state. But the theta, right? The theta would be.
If you can really do proper meditation, you will be in theta. You know that?
Right, sir. Meditation is okay. I'm just talking about how else I can maximize the gains. I'm only talking about
how
the
you
non-
can
non-
maximize
habit.
See,
Consciously make it a
come on,
habit,
Praveen,
subconscious
look at
mind.
it this. How many thoughts a day?
around 60,000 plus. 90%.
60 plus, you take 70, right? You
Right.
make it 70 in 1000 minutes. Okay. When you are in beta, what is the frequency?
No, beta is around 15 hertz plus, I guess. 15 or
Much
20.
more, it's 21.
Yeah.
Yes, 21 plus.
Right.
That is not where you want it.
Correct, sir.
Because
Beta is not important.
you are rapidly knocking the upper and lower threshold.
Right.
Okay. Too much of energy wasted.
Yeah.
But if you want it to be smooth, it has to be minimum at alpha.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm
Right. Minimum alpha.
Yes.
If you sustain alpha, you will eventually progress to theta. Okay. Otherwise, you have had a disturbed sleep. That's it. Period.
Right.
So where is the question now?
Now, what I'm trying to say is, see,
You are confused with REM sleep. After smartwatches came, that REM sleep started coming.
REM is of a smaller. Typically, when 4 is highest. If you
Right.
like 8 hours, 4 is the largest one. The deep is okay, fine. We know that is. What I'm trying
Practice,
to say is, how can I influence the core sleep?
Practice yoga nidra.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to say. In addition to the meditation, maybe
But-
the subconscious programming can be fed to
No,
the-
that program can only be achieved with this. This is the script.
Yeah.
Whatever program you want to do, this is the script. So meditation is anyway mandatory. As your awareness increases, while I am talking to you, I may be in theta. Even that is possible.
Right.
So it is only meditation. The entire path to the present. See, what does meditation? What is meditation?
I'm just going into the theta state or
No,
gamma
no,
state.
no.
Thoughtless state.
That is right. When you are completely absorbed into the activity that you are doing, that is also meditation.
Right. Yeah, fully
If
involved.
I am cooking and my entire concentration is only on making the best dish,
Yes, that's a
am I meditating?
Yes, 100%.
Thank you.
That's why all the singers, all the players like
Exactly.
they're meditators. You don't call them, but they're meditators.
They are not meditators of
Yeah,
cross your
meditators.
legs,
Right.
close your fingers and
Yes.
close your eyes and all, but they are also meditators.
Yes, that's
So
right.
understanding that is important, because then your question, they have to meditate to get there.
I'm not questioning the meditation.
No.
So in acting, how can I train the subconscious mind?
See, subconscious mind, it is only through this. Only through meditation can you reach that. Can you trigger that? Because you are now removing the boundaries or the limitations that your subconscious mind is That is why I even said, Bob Proctor, he said, remove the boundaries, then you are the universal mind.
So basically from what I know, so the conscious actions will become part of subconscious mind
Exactly.
at some point.
Correct.
So I don't know. if
Actually,
it's
I'm approaching in a slightly different way.
deliberately, but
Because I can easily influence my subconscious mind. I'm not really worried about it. I'm actually looking at a external subconscious mind influence.
There is, it can't. If you are very clear, if you have put your grass concept in place, you can't be influenced. What is the grass concept? Put a compound wall from all sides, let not there be any interference. How do you do that? If you do Mahavatar Babaji's meditation, right? I will give you the book if you want. Yeah, there is. Yes.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. So the moment you do that, then what interference? So there are various forms. It is first of all, the first thing is, as you continuously keep on doing this, you don't have to worry how, because you will already reach. That is why Patriji always used to say, do meditation. You go to him for anything, do meditation, do more meditation.
Like rhythmically answering the same.
No, he has never said more and more. He has already finished with the second one. Do more meditation. You go to him with a complaint. Well, that's how it works. And at least I have experienced it.
Yes, sir. The fighting anything, we have two ways. One is one by one eliminate.
HABIT.
Yeah.
The beautiful word is HABIT.
Just increase your energy, automatically the other things will get released. That is.
Right? In fact, if it was a corporate world, I would have used what's his name? Jack Welch.
Yeah.
Right? He has written a book.
Yeah.
Get better or get beaten.
Yes. Exactly. Thought of the same things.
so it took how many months it took for you to recover from where you were through 9 months?
So you were meditating most of the time in those moments.
Most of the time it was absolute meditation with the affirmation. The affirmation was, everybody used to focus on breath or here. Here I had written, this is the value. I was only focusing on that value, nothing else.
So you are totally controlling your travel.
Yes, and I mean, I have also started misbehaving. Like last 2 days, the amount of misbehavior I have done. Right?
This will not be part of it.
Yeah.
These are exclusions.
Huh?
These are all exclusions.
I know, these are all aberrations, not exclusions.
So you are totally out of this.
I carry pills because otherwise my wife will not let me move from the house. So then I go and tell, see, I have not wasted one pill also.
So before that 9-month period that you mentioned, were you aware of this meditation, or is that only during that 9 months you got in?
No, I was doing it. I was practicing this.
Before
See, what happened was I changed my dietary habit and my sugar levels came down. Right? Now my problem was, how do I sustain? Sustenance came from this. Every now and then when I see ice cream, I get tempted. They will say one ice cream, I will say one ice cream, after one ice cream, after one ice cream. Then that day the sugar levels will shoot up. Try meditation, it may work, it may not work. If it doesn't work, then.
So you start your meditations with the affirmation and then get into meditation? Or
No,
during
first
the
I
meditation?
plan out my entire course of how I am going to run my meditation. Right? For that, I would recommend people reading You Are the Placebo, the first 2 chapters, along with prologue and the prelude and
Introduction.
So you're setting the context before you start the meditation.
exactly.
what if there are multiple desires, multiple things we ask? So
One at a time.
Monday on.
One at a
Tuesday
time. No,
Something.
one after another. See, if you really draw a fishbone diagram, you will get the root cause, which is only one. Identify.
So one thought for 40 days, mandala.
Yeah.
Minimum 40.
Yeah.
So you will get the first indication. See how indication in the spiritual being, what happens is we have what we call 7 experiences. Right? These experiences are indicators of they are working, they are not working. Okay, you get those feedback. Like I keep telling you, how this dreams communicate with us. As late as the month of August, my sister was celebrating a function, I told you. And she said, Bhaiya, aapko aana hai. As usual, spiritual tablets, ye hai, wo hai, mere ko bahut kaam hai, nahi aa paunga. She got angry, she went home. Next day afternoon, I dozed off in the afternoon for 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, there is a dream. I was driving my car, I come to a traffic signal. I stop. Then the signal turns green. I'm trying to move, my leg itself is not coming up to the accelerator. I'm unable to put my foot on the accelerator. So much so that everybody behind is wild, there's a lot of noise. The cop comes there. He says, and I could not. So he takes his camera and then shoots, and then he's getting ready to punish me. To give me a ticket. My sleep broke. Now I'm looking at what happened. What is this dream? Now, in spiritual, this one, the way it has been conceptualized, the personal car represents near and dear because we use the car only for near and dear, either family or very close friends. For the generic public, we rarely use the car. Traffic signal. Okay. It has come to a halt. It has to proceed. It is unable to proceed. There is a barricade. And that barricade is punishable. Right? So I start analyzing what have I done that it is punishable, anything which makes sense. This function came into view. So next day. So it is a warning that has come to me. It's a communication. You are committing a mistake. Then, because after that, this relationship will get strained. So don't do it. That is the message I got. Silently, I took my laptop, went to my sister's place. I started working from there. She was happy. Brother has come. Brother is happy. His work is not interrupted. They served food, had food, and immediately I said, now I have to go, you have to permit. She said yes. Catastrophe avoided. So, but the dream was the trigger for me to act that way. So this kind of communication we keep getting through our experience. Like our founder, when he was a student, he was walking for his dinner. He found a name. He said, why is this name? Then he went for his food. In the food also he got a name. That day in his meditation, they found one question which is out of syllabus pertaining to this one. Right? He told his 4 or 5 other meditator friends that this question is going to come. Next day they go, others fail, these 4 people pass. Because that was almost a 20 mark or 25 mark question. So as you meditate, you can even have your question paper leaked.
That's true.
But this is tremendous. I mean, no logic applies. When it comes to this, there is nothing like logic. That is why it is beyond the speed of light. So Newton physics doesn't play any role. It goes to quantum physics, where everything is possible.
So Srikanth, you're going to send this to everybody who is.
Yes, there is but then it won't open in your phones. Mr. Apple is not cooperative, he is non-cooperative, and he is not also interoperable. Please open it in a browser in your system, right? Either a Mac or.
Yeah, and it will be sent to all the people who have registered.
Yes,
How many have they registered?
Only one.
Yeah.
I will send it to you, don't worry.
But there was an issue with that registration form.
Mhm.
So the second question was like mandatory. And without that, it won't even go.
So for the personal,
I don't want any option. So
no, there was no other.
There was no other. Several other.
Yeah.
I selected that and I said.
Yeah.
So then better take attendance and then check it immediately.
Just kidding, but
Yeah, that was invalid question.
Yeah.
Mandatory invalid question.
Yeah. I should have
no,
also-
what happened there? I was telling there were 6 slots. When each of the slot was filling up, I was cancelling it, and finally all the slots completed. I should have removed the question because all the slots were done. I forgot to remove that question. That's all.
I reached out to sir only, sir.
Oh.
How he said, okay.
So then I said, you come
Okay.
there itself.
Yeah. I mean that the whole form was made because of that personal session.
But
This
anyway,
session was open.
This is already available with people in spiritual tablets.
Yeah, now it is casted in
In YouTube also.
YouTube.
Yeah.
This
Guys.
is already there in 4 different channels of PSSM and PMC.
Yes, sir.
But if it is in our channel, we will have it.
And yeah, I'm very happy. The way he showed it, only my top portion came. So I'm extremely happy. They cannot make out who it is.
How was it, friends? Yeah. So this is where we invite masters. See, same concept, same subject, coming out from different perspectives and different experiences. That is the beauty. That is the beauty, and we like to appreciate. Some people are asking, right? Yeah, he has done only 3 years of experience. Why are we inviting? Some people are asking. Doesn't matter. He has his own experience of how he implemented and resolved, right? So great. Kudos to you, sir. Explanation. Every step was so easy to understand, sir. Really, we liked, and it really helped us.
Yes, so the devil is in the details.
Please look at it.
Sir, thanks to Ms. Valentine.
I know.
So with that, we came up with theory,
Yeah.
science behind what is happened.
I mean, people want to see, take a look at it. And this whole thing is healed. This was up to here.
Oh,
Even the skin has closed up to this point. This is the pocket where I could insert.
Friends, anybody wants to share, please?
Yeah, I need to acknowledge Chandra sir. I've been part of the spiritual tablet, we stay back. Such a dedication. I mean, he has been taking our revision classes. We get tired, but he doesn't get tired.
That is also what spiritual, this Anapanasati meditation can do to you. It can tire you out, but not the
I would be like, sir is always there. Every revision class he is there, every practice session he is there, every single time. Great dedication, sir. And for that reason, I came because I wanted to meet you in person.
Select. Either the words.
Yeah.
She is my guru. Before she claims it, I give it.
Yeah, I'm accepting you as my guru.
But she scolds me. Send her a photograph. I don't have a photograph where I have been smiling. You don't know how to smile?
Please smile for me. Like this, like the one that you just did.
That is not smile, that is laugh.
Beautiful, sir. We are all blessed to have you here because, there is a reason as Universe always has planned to send any masters to any places, right? So I think here it's a need of the hour to understand so deeply, so easily. People say that, meditation can heal and like hours of meditation, reading books and Sajjana Sanghatya are so important. But you explained in a way that anybody can understand and it triggers them to rethink what they are thinking, rethink and refeel and then everything they can bring back to themselves. So as Shrikant said, right, it is always important to listen to every master's experience because as you said, we are all one and I have an answer to my question from you only. I can get the answer from you only. And that's why it is so important to meet with each person. So that's right.
Thank you.
Nobody else?
Any sessions you have today?
Pardon?
Sorry, half an hour sessions today before the program today. Are we going to have?
Yeah.
The personal sessions. If you are interested for a personal session, please request. We'll do it online because we do not have time
Now
now.
we can do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the session, sir. As always, I'm a big fan of your lecture, the way you explain and get the scenarios. It's now been a part of another batch.
Oh.
Yes, and you used to call me Etiladya.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, always amazed by the way you take a different perception, the clarity you give for every situation, every scenario. In this, here, the woodpecker, when we are all saying on the repeated spot, when we said it will make a hole, we said it will break the barrier, the resistance which the tree was giving. That level of detail and precisely you say, that is amazing. Everything, every concept, we see in a very different perspective. That's amazing and we are blessed to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I need to admit, the original plan was to create a home. Okay. While talking, I don't know, somebody is there who is influencing my talk. It changed. I didn't change it. I had come prepared with one statement, but while I was delivering, it got changed. So there is the universe. See, for example, I was telling him, when I was planning a visit here, he said it's very cold. I said, yes. But then my experience has been, on a hot day, if I go to Riyadh, that night it will rain. And they used to tell me, 5 years we have not had rain. I said, I don't know. There's someone who is guiding me. Right? Same thing happened in Dubai. Then when I went to Austria, in fact, one of the the organizing member, he said, sir, I brought you some warm clothing, thinking that you will not bring. I never had a need to use it, I gave it back. Universe changed the temperature. I went to Dallas. 4 days before I was to come here, it was freezing cold. Right? Today, I'm not able to wear my jacket. My seat, my chair is wearing my jacket. Right? So that way, Mother Universe, you trust in it, it will take care. Yeah, in between it will test you. Are you still trusting, not trusting? Not trusting? Okay, give him one. Hey, एक दे दो. ठीक हो जाएगा.
So I just wanted to say, all spiritual tablet students who have got trained in any levels can raise their hands. Including me.
I also got trained.
So thanks to GK sir. Thanks to Chandra sir. Thanks, great package. Excellent work which has been happening. So thank you once again, sir. Thanks for being there. Thanks for attending. And we'll do a small presentation to sir, and then we'll go for dinner. And in dinner we can discuss, right? So we play some music, and then when I invite Pawan, please. Okay, na? So Pawan is our meditator, part of the organization, one of the office. Thank you, Pawan. You always support us in all. Okay. Pawan is going to get me a job. Yes, you are great master, sir. Great master. Yeah. Thank you. We'll take one group photo here, and then we'll go down, sir. Do it here or there?
Let's do it here.
Here?
You have to remove. Oh no, let's do it here. We'll do that.
We can cut off live. Can cut off live.
Yeah.
So thank you, friends. We are now closing the session. Thanks for being part of this event, and once again, thanks again joining for this wonderful session. Thank you.